legitimately crying right now.
need to record the video too.
Record the video.
Okay, are we gonna take turns for each little line thingy?
Alright.
I am so sorry, friends.
I am so sorry.
We apologize in advance.
Okay.
Let's email
No.
Never. This does not leave this computer.
Can I do the sound effect?
No. Mentor signed, rubbing his head as he was reading a book on niglocks. While the Rangers were outside practicing their skills, nothing could go smoothly considering what had happened yesterday with Antonio, or so they thought.
Ding dong.
Mentor opened the door to reveal a raven-haired, green-eyed young woman. She had her arms folded with a pissed-off expression on her face. Mentor wondered where did the girl come from, or what was the reason he didn't know.
May I help you?
"I'd like to speak to Jayden," she replied flatly.
And this is regards of.
The girl seemed to have very short patience. Rolling her eyes, she replied, "Are you going to let me speak to Jayden or not? Or are you the boss of this samurai operation?"
Mentor was shocked. The whole samurai operation. How do you know?
"You know what? Excuse me," as she pushed her way inside the house.
Jayden, she shouted. Bring your ass out here, now, she shouted.
"Excuse me, young lady." Mentor began walking inside after the girl. "Who do you think you are barging inside my house?"
What the fuck? I am not leaving here until I see Jayden. It's obviously he is a crowd to show his face.
"Okay, that's enough." He grabbed the girl by the arms, trying to carry her outside as she screamed. The Rangers, including Jayden, ran inside from the dojo just in time to see the girl stomp her foot down against his mentor, stubbing onto the nearest couch in pain.
Mentor! Emily and Mia shouted, running to his aid.
"Ah, there you are, you son of a bitch!"
Hey! Mike shouted, running over to the girl, grabbing her arms as she struggled to break free.
Get the fuck off me, you asshole," she screamed, jerking to break free.
Let her go, Mike, Jayden commanded.
"Are you nuts? What do you mean, let her go? She attacked Mentor. This girl is dangerous."
She's not dangerous.
Before Jayden got a chance to finish his sentence, there was a groan followed by a surprised expression on Jayden and Kevin's faces. Mike fell backwards on the floor. It seemed that the girl had kicked him square in the nuts.
Mike! Emily exclaimed as she ran to his aid.
"Oh, you bitch," Mike screamed.
All right, that's it.
Blue, touch me and you're next," she panted. She tuned her gaze to Jayden, his face turned into his angry expression.
What do you want? He asked furiously.
At his question, the girl placed her hands on her hips. "Oh my god, you don't remember me? It seems obvious, but since you butt my brother on the bench."
As soon as the girl said brother, Jayden's expression turned from anger to surprise.
"MANGENTA?"
Kevin's eyes widened.
"Jayden, wait, you know her?" he asked.
She's Antonio's twin sister.
"Antonio's got a twin? What else?"
Nothing else. Unlike Antonio, he's very secret about certain things. It's none of your business. Any of you. This is between me and him.
"There's nothing to talk about. I already made a decision."
Oh, really? Who made that? You or your foster father?
Mentor managed to stand with the help of Mia. "It was a wise decision. It was for the best. Your brother could get hurt."
No, he wouldn't. He's perfect. He's everything you need. So much of a friend you are, she replied before walking past him and out the back door.
"Magenta."
Suddenly, the gap sensor went off, freezing them in place.
Nightlock attack."
Mia replied.
Weren't they niglocks?
We have to go. The racist.
"Are you fucking kidding me?" Mike exclaimed. "How am I supposed to fight like this? I can barely move."
You have no choice. You have to suck it up, Emily replied.
"She's right," Jayden replied. "Kevin, I need you to take over for me. There's something I need to take care of first." And he turned and bolted out the door.
Magenta ran and ran until she couldn't run anymore, stopping to clung to the nearest tree. She felt like she was going to cry, but couldn't. The only thing she could do was slowly sink down to the dirty ground, trying to catch her breath.
"Magenta!" Jayden called as he ran to the same path. "She has to be close," he thought to himself. In a matter of seconds, he came face to face with her, sitting down on the dirty ground, panting.
Magenta!
"Don't!" She pointed her index finger toward him, trying to stand up. "I don't want to hear anything you have to say."
Jayden didn't move. He just stood there. He can tell that she was very upset. He was careful not to piss her off.
"Why did you follow me?" she asked. "Is it because of your so-called ego? God, you're so stubborn." I can see why Antonio felt so betrayed by his so-called friend.
I had no choice, Magenta. I'm sorry you're upset, but it was the only way that I can keep him safe.
Magenta had nothing else to say. What can she say? He wasn't going to think different. She turned her back towards him, ready to walk away, when suddenly she felt a hand hit his shoulder.
Jayden didn't expect what happened next, but the next thing he knew, there was a blow, and Jayden found himself falling down on the ground with a grunt. Rubbing his face, he realized that Magenta had smacked him hard across his face in trying to get away from him. There was a sound of running footsteps, and Jayden quickly got on his feet, running after the feisty brunette. He finally caught up with quickly grabbing her wrist, pushing her down on the ground, pinning himself above her.
Let me go, Jayden, Magenta screamed as her legs were kicking all over the place.
Stop it, damn it, he shouted. Out of the demand of his voice, Magenta stopped her struggling. With her wrist still in his hands and with Jayden pinned fully on top of her, the girl had no option but to suddenly break down in tears.
Jayden's anger slowly turned into sadness, watching as the fresh tears fall down her soft cheeks. She was Antonio's twin sister. What she feels, Antonio feels anger, sadness, and hurt. For the first time ever, Jayden realized what mistake he had made with his decision about letting Antonio be a samurai ranger. To tell the truth, if Jayden looked back yesterday, Antonio handled the situation cried well. He was there in the right time when he and his teammates needed him, along with his hallucinations.
Looking down into Magenta's tear-stained eyes, her body slightly shaking, Jayden released his hold on her wrist, slowly wiping his thumb to wipe off a tear from her eye. What happened next was completely unexpected. Jayden's expression turned into surprise when Magenta suddenly grabbed the sides of Jayden's face and kissed him passionately on the lips.
Jayden was shocked by the reaction. He didn't understand it. How could you go from being so pissed off one minute to trying to probe your lips with your tongue the next? But he didn't flinch. He didn't try to stop it. It felt so strange to him. He had never kissed a girl before. He wasn't sure whether or not he was doing it right, but Magenta wasn't sure what she was up to. Trying to seduce him, perhaps? Or whatever it was working. He gave in, letting her tongue intrude his mouth, massaging against his.
Suddenly, her felt his pants tighten at the friction, and Magenta moaned into his mouth, breaking the kiss glazing into his blue eyes.
Magenta, he whispered. What?
Shh, she whispered to Suddenly, she grabbed...
Jayden's hips,
pushing him down on top of her, grinding her hips against him. Each time she would thrust her hips upward, her pelvis would softly bump into his erection. He could help but moan.
She whispered into his ear, just like when we were children.
She licked the shells of his earlobe, and he couldn't help but shiver. I want to do something, if you don't mind, to get stress off your mind and get you thinking clearly.
And with that, Magenta rolled on top of him, laying Jayden onto his back, not breaking eye contact. Magenta moved her hand to the belt of Jayden's dojo pants, slowly taking them loose.
Mangenta, we...
She froze her moments, raising her eyebrows. We?
Jayden took a moment to swallow a lump in his throat. We can't.
Why not?
You're Antonio's sister.
So it's not like we haven't done this touchy-feely before.
We're not children anymore. I don't want to betray my best friend.
Magenta laughed at his words. Betray? Oh, you have done that. The reason I'm doing this is so you can think twice about the decision. Decision. She mangade to unloose the button and zipper of his pants. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. And with that, she pulled out his erection and began to stroke him.
And all his protest went out the window. Soft, delicate hands touching him in the right place. Magenta left was stroking him slowly up and down with her right, gently squeeze and caress his testicles. Jayden found himself moaning deeply at the feeling.
Do you like that? Magenta asked as she continued to stroke him.
Jayden didn't respond, just that Magenta could see him tilt his head, his eyes still closed.
Magenta smirked. Well, you're going to love this. Getting down on her knees with his member standing mere inches from her face, Magenta licked her lips before parting, landing her head down to take his member into her mouth.
Magenta was moving her mouth up and down perfectly on him, her tongue massaging the pulsing vein, taking the head of his cock between her lips, sucking lightly at the head. Repeating the same motion.
This kills the man.
Shut up. Jayden was close, real close. His body was a firework ready to burst. In a matter of moments, he took his hand and pressed Magenta's head down further on him, feeling his balls tight and moaning as she orgasmed into her mouth. Magenta bobbed her head up and down until she was sure that her finished before removing her mouth, giving his cock a kiss.
Yeah, just like when we were kids.
Pulling his pant up and crawling over, laying beside panting Jayden as she came down from his high.
So, are you going to think about adding my brother to your team?
Jayden turned his head toward her. Just as when he was about to answer her question, his samuraiser rang. Grabbing it out of his pocket, he looked at the caller ID to see it was Kevin.
Yeah, you did great. Get the team together. We need to talk about Antonio joining the team. I'll see you then.
He won't let you down, I promise. I'm sorry for being a bitch. I can't stand to see Antonio sad. He hurts, I hurt. It's a twin thing.
I understand. I will make sure that Antonio doesn't know you have nothing to do with this. Promise me that you will keep what happened between us.
Magenta grabbed Jayden and squeezing it gently and replied, I promise.
The end.
Oh my god.
I'm so done.
This kills the man.
Fucking lost it.